Alright, this is the trip to Bull's Island by kayak and running, and it's a day trip starting from Charleston, South Carolina, Sullivan's Island, Isle of Palm, Dwee's Island, Capers Island, and then this is Bull's Island. So what I want to do is talk about a trip going from the mainland out to the Park Island. These two islands are Capers, Dwee's also, and Bull Island are largely uninhabited parks, barrier island parks. I think it's actually part of the Francis Marion National Forest. So you would start out here somewhere, kayak through this marsh, and come out here. And the way that would look on the Garmin software map, this is a topo map, and although there's not much topography because it's pretty flat, obviously, but I would actually do a trip like this, kayak out to the island through the marsh, and then do a run around the island, about an 8-mile run, and then eat lunch and picnic and explore around, and then come back, and that would be 17.8 miles, or basically an 18-mile day trip. So let's just zoom in here to the starting point, and here we start out at this place called Peg Dock, and let's just take a look at that. Alright, it's 8:20, Thursday, December 22. This is the beginning of that Bull Island trip I wanted to start. Tide's already flowing. I don't know if you can tell. Pushing right to left here. And you can really see some evidence of that over here, where the tide is ripping out of this little creek over here, flowing right underneath the dock. So this is the starting point, and I don't know how evident that is, but it's pretty impressive. Sun's already up. This is one of my planned starting times, so we'll see how it goes. You can see this tide still, it should be going out pretty strong for the next 3 hours, according to the chart. Alright, I'm under route, about at the first marker of the route here. There's where I started. There's the place they call Will's Island, home of the giant conch shells. There's a current going by that crab trap right there, you can tell. I'm traveling with it. So about 5 or so of the 27 flags in or something. It's a little bit hard to tell. I got to figure out how to check that a little more accurately and get back to you. There's the water bird. Okay, after about 30 minutes of kayaking, I only progressed up to about this point, but let's zoom in on that and see what it looks like. So we're going down this little creek right here. Alright, it's 9 a.m. and I don't know what percentage of the trip I've made so far, but basically I started out here, came up here, and I think I'm headed up here toward, I'm right about right here, and that's only about 30 minutes, so that's pretty fast, I think. And then I'm going to make a hard right here, and this is that section where I think it might be up against the current. I think I'm right about that. And just following the GPS here, but it doesn't really, I don't think you can really see the map. Anyway, it looks really nice. The GPS makes it kind of trivial to do the navigation, I'll say that. Because you can't really see where you're going. You're down here below the marsh. The grass is blocking your view. There's been a lot of bugs. The wind's picking up a little bit. It's so idealistic. It's like bug heaven out here. And I didn't really bring much I thought it'd be okay out over the water, but the sort of no-see-em gnats are out here big time. Temperatures creeping up on 70 degrees. 3 days here before Christmas, so pretty ideal. Alright, the strategy with respect to the tides is just to try to ride the tide out on the one way and then come back with the tide in the other direction, since you're leaving from the mainland, going out toward the sea, and then returning from the sea area, mainly the island, and coming back to land. But you want it to match up with the sunrise and sunset. So the next one that will be kind of perfect will be sometime maybe a couple of days after December 31st, say January 3rd or something like that. But in certain little regions, we have to come up here and go more or less against the tide because we were meandering our way through here. We're mostly going with it. So let's just take a look at what happens at around 9:20. You can tell your general velocity is falling off because the Garmin software records your speed. So I'm going below 1 mile an hour here. I'm in here in this region, kind of going along here, and let's just take a look at that. So it's 9:22 or so. This is getting up to that section where I said the tide might be pushing against you. And sure enough, if you look at it, there's that buoy. You can see the water flowing past it, I think, in the wrong direction as I'm trying to go this way. And but it's not that intense. I can make really good progress against it. And that's that section in here where you started down here and you came up here and you're going up against this current for a while and you're going to eventually turn left up here. Okay, 9:43 started here, came up here, and now we went against this part where we said it would be against the tide, and it was, and we're getting ready to pull into here, and the tide is starting to really go with us. So I'm being pushed down this narrow aisle here, and you can sort of tell that the current is pushing down this aisle. It's a little bit hard to tell, but no buoys. But it's beautiful and definitely far past halfway at 9:44. Maybe that's coming in on, I think since we got past that part, it's like 2/3 or something. Anyway, that big blue triangle is a destination just about. We're about right there, and we start up there. Alright, it's about 10:30, a little widening in here, and we're start up over here by the blue dot, and then now we're going to do this about a 1 mile stretch right here, and that's about the last stretch, maybe 1.2 miles. Should be going down current. Okay, it's 11 a.m. I'm out here on Bulls Island. There's all the houses back over there on the real mainland. Definitely looks like you're just on land here, and I don't have any mosquitoes at all. There's a sign that says this is Beach Road. That's a pretty high quality road right here. So the good news is, as far as I'm concerned, is I don't have to try to protect myself from mosquitoes, at least not right now, and try to you know, put up a tent and a mosquito screen and a bunch of stuff like that, you know. Be cool if I could just keep explaining what was going on and then start thinking about the other things I wanted to think about, like you know, that sign that says employee drug testing or something. There's a native palm tree, South Carolina. See, all the palm fronds are just still on. There's the Spanish moss. Some kind of cedar trees and pines in the distance. So this is the way the running part works. First, I dress like an idiot, wearing a dress shirt because that's actually the coolest shirt I have, and it's coming up 170. I take a small pack with me, and I'm going to carry my iPhone on this. I got 3G reception out here, so I'm just going to go around the island and see if that holds up around the whole thing. But normally I would not take my, and then I just tied that pack onto the boat, so somebody could really screw me over by stealing my boat. But it's kind of the same thing when you talk about you know, somebody stealing your car or something, you know. Maybe I'll take that big backpack and hide it in the woods. That may be more secure because there's enough survival gear and water and food in there that even if nobody was with me, I could put up a tent and have some extra clothes and stuff. I would not have the sleeping bag as such, which is an interesting idea, but it's pretty warm tonight. So, I mean, it would be survivable. You'd be really glad you had it. So, maybe I'll hide my big backpack in the woods. I think I can do that in a way that is memorable and nobody will be able to see or find it. That's Bull's Island. I'm going to run in those woods somewhere, or out by the beach or whatever. Maybe 7 miles or 9 miles or something like that. I don't think I'm going to try to run more than 10. Okay, I'm hanging my backpack on the palm tree here, just off the road next to the big old oak tree. Kind of the first one you come to. I'm going to mark the spot on my GPS too. So, should be pretty good. Inside, about a couple of tenths of a mile, there are some toilets and some pretty nice facilities out here where you could have your picnic or something. So when I get back, I'll try to come out here and make some coffee or something. Although I have filter paper, but I don't think I have a cone. As you can see, the Bull's Island Road here is pretty much a joy to run on as far as being, there's no mosquitoes today. It is a little warm because it's around 70, but it's just sand and grass to run on. No impact. There's a fork in the road. Maybe I'll go to Big Pond, I don't know. Look, it's my friend the alligator. You think they know each other? This is about 20 feet away. I really don't like to go any closer, really. But they're pretty big. The interesting thing is that out here on Bull Island, the alligators are just totally unafraid of you. They just sit there still. I think maybe they're not hunted or harassed or anything, because they act like, well, it's no issue to them. Animals just don't approach them. Out here is an old fort out here or something. I think that's why they call it the Fort Road or something. And seems to be like some kind of cement made with shells type of structure. Very interesting. And I think this is a freshwater lake. That's why our friends the alligators are over here, who are just remarkably unconcerned about me. Claimed that the first Europeans came here in 1670, so 400 years ago or so. And they said the Indians were here since 4,000 years. Here we arrive down to the beach. Funny thing is, you see deer tracks and so forth down at the beach. It's kind of interesting. Here's where the road that I was following before I got on the beach, it comes down and terminates right here and ends at the beach. So it's kind of interesting, and I guess these pieces of wood and stuff they call the boneyard. I don't really see what the big deal is. It's pretty natural. Well, lost my autofocus, but making the coffee right now, and that's the jet boil. That thing boils water in 2 minutes. Sorry about the focusing. I think it'll come back. Just a piece of sand or something got wedged in.